right, we look like we are live, so I'm just gonna get right into it. I don't know where my opening screen went for this, you guys, so we're gonna get started in just 2 shakes. I have my Oracle identity on today. I'm just gonna also go live on TikTok, so if you want, there's gonna be 2 lives here. I've got 2 cameras going. One's going to have a bit of a screen share and be my reference point for the presentation today, and one will just be the live screen. So feel free to listen to whichever one you would like to. So let me just go live here. Okay, perfect. So welcome to the live stream. Actually, I need to have oh no, let me just make sure this goes here. So let me just get set up quickly. So what we're going to do today is, if you were around yesterday, I did a little bit of a synastry, which was basically between, well, not a synastry, it was Black Canary and Batgirl. And so I guess I'm playing as Oracle right now, right? So the whole concept of being the information highway. So if we want to do some guest requests, I can do that with my headset, and we can do that if whoa, where did I even put that? Well, we'll figure that out later. Let's get to this right now. Okay, so what are we talking about today? We're talking about the synastry between superheroes and the concept of superhero teams. And so if we think of like birthdays, I'm going to flip to, let me just make sure I have the right one. We're going to start with Barbara Gordon first, and then give some background, and then we can go into everything else. So I hope you're having a good night. Hello. If you want to get the screen share of this, that is on my link tree, but otherwise you can just listen to the sound of my voice. So if you were around last night, hello joiners, McCoy, Crazy Canuck, Mishice, Silver Streak, Steph. I can do requests in a moment. I have the right headset for it. I just have to have it hooked up. So if you want to get the screen share for this presentation, it's if you check my link tree, you can find that. So what we're going to do is something called a synastry reading, or a relationship reading between Barbara Gordon's Batgirl and Supergirl, as a way of learning about, sometimes I have friends who contact me and they're like, Rachel, I met this guy. Is he compatible with me? He's a Scorpio, and I am also a Scorpio. So will it work? So there's so much there to talk about. I can't just say that our situationship. Oh, you know what? There's my friend said this really, really eloquently about, like, with relationships, that, as much as, people are happening to us, we are happening to other people. And, that seems very obvious, but oftentimes it's not. So I'm just going to read you guys, if you're watching this on YouTube, you can see my screen. I'm going to go into a quick reading of Supergirl and Batgirl together as a friendship reading, because you can do astrology readings for anything, like between 2 of anything, right? So I am currently playing as Oracle, Barbara Gordon's Batgirl. So I'm in my little hub today, my little computer hub. Maybe I can turn it this way. You can kind of... Mitch Ice, I don't think Aries is the worst zodiac creatures. You know that Wonder Woman is an Aries, and I was actually doing some homework when it came to Supergirl's birthday, because that's a whole thing we can discuss as well. So you can drop in the chat your sun sign, but as I said, there's more to your signs than what your sun sign is. Okay, you're so much more beautifully complex than that. So going to Barbara Gordon, I'm playing as Barbara Gordon, and I don't know if you guys know what happened to her, but I'm going to just read out some of, let me see here, I just want to make sure that my camera 1, camera 2 situation is all good. Okay, good. All right. I hope you guys are having a wonderful night tonight. I'm basically your oracle tonight. If you're familiar with the comic books, uh, Barbara Gordon also plays as Oracle after the events of the Killing Joke, which I'm going to get into just now. I don't know if I'm going to be able to. I'm going to play some Gotham Knights later as Batgirl, so stay tuned for that. I hope that I've practiced enough to do her justice, because that would be annoying. Okay, so Barbara Gordon, me, is a superheroine appearing in American comic books published by DC Comics, commonly in association with the superhero Batman. The character was created by television producer William Dozier, editor Julius Schwartz, writer Gardner Fox. Oh, thank you, King Mac. Thank you, thank you. And artist Carmine Infantino. Dozier, the producer of the 1960s Batman television series, which I think we're all familiar with and we know and love, because I do love to snares left behind to ensnare the survivors. Oh, wait. I missed. Oh, thank you, thank you. Okay, hold on. Where am I? The character subsequently made her first comic book appearance in Batgirl Detective Comics 359, titled The $1,000,000 Debut of Batgirl. What a name of a title, man. In January of 1967. So the reason I'm reading this out is because I'm determining what her birthday is. So I look at this as like a character situation, right? So I just told you that like you had a group of people who created the character of Batgirl, and specifically Barbara Gordon's Batgirl. So her first appearance is the year that I use for the date of birth when it comes to determining, because we're going to do a Synastry chart reading between Babs and Kara Zor-El, because they're friends in Crisis on Infinite Earths. I have a cool little edit I'm doing of the two of them as they work together to save the multiverse. Because, you know, last night I had a little talk with my girlfriend, Aria, who loves Black Canary, and Black Canary and Babs, Barbara Gordon, are actually the founding members of the Birds of Prey. And so next week we're going to talk about totem animals. If you weren't around for last night, please drop your totem animal in the chat, you know, like, because we had watched Batman Forever recently, and you know that scene where, you know, like Jim Carrey's Riddler is like stealing people's imagination, brain juice, dream juice, and they like harvest. This is when like Val Kilmer was Batman, so they harvest his like imagination, and so there's this beautiful black bat like flying directly towards the camera, and so at that point it's this concept of like looking into the shadows, looking into fear, and then through that you find strength in animal guides or any types of symbolism, because if you think about bats, right? The symbolism of bats is, you know, you're as blind as a bat, but they can see in the darkness because of, sonar, right? So they can use sound in order to see. And so there's an extra meaning there as it comes to if that's your totem animal, right? So I just went on a tangent. So Barbara, I'm going to put 1967 as the year of her birth, because that would be the year that she first came to be. If we read one of the Batgirl comics, her and Dick Grayson are having this moment in bed, and she's like, oh, or he says like, oh, we're millennials, so we're never going to own anything. And I'm like, millennials? That might be true of Dick Grayson, because Nightwing was created after Robin, right? Specifically Nightwing was created after Robin. So 1967, and Batgirl's birthday was actually this past Monday, so September 23rd, making her a Libra, a first degree Libra. And I wanted to show, if you're watching this on YouTube, you can see my screen. I'm just going to flip to my research. My research regarding Barbara, because they do say that her birthday is, yes, birthday September 23rd. Yes. And she becomes Oracle in 1988 after the events of the Killing Joke. So if we think of character, even if you think about yourself, right, in terms of the eras of your existence as you go through your time. So I'm going to put that into here. So her birthday is September 23rd, 1967. And so that takes into consideration her first comic book appearance in 1967 and her birthday being September. So let's put that to the side. I'm gonna make a little note of that. See my little notepad. I have to write things down with like a real pen and a real paper for it to like be a thing. I don't know about you guys. Okay, and she becomes Oracle in Suicide Squad number 23 in January 10th, 1989. So in the 80s, she actually becomes Oracle. Let's see here. She's got a couple creators. And actually, fun fact, Barbara Gordon's Oracle, or rather Barbara Gordon's Batgirl, her creator is actually the one behind Zatanna too. So that's kind of fun. Okay, so that's Barbara. Now, Supergirl's birthday is actually the day before Batgirl. That's kind of cool, right? So her birthday is on the Sunday. So it's actually September. Hey Pikachu, I saw you come in. September 22nd. Aw, thank you. Welcome up. Pika. Hello. I'm in my Oracle little hub today. I'm talking about the I guess the Synastry, or like if you were to take, you could do this yourself too. Like I'm going to show you guys the chart. So if you go to astroseek.com, you can put in your chart and whomever else's chart, and you can see how you two mesh. So we're going to do that with Supergirl and Batgirl. But first, I'm going to bring up Supergirl's background story. So she first appeared, let's see here. Supergirl, also known as the Girl of Steel, is one of the most powerful superheroes in the DC universe and the cousin of Superman. She is born as Kara Zor-El on the dying planet Krypton. Her parents, let me just double check here. I just want to make sure that okay, perfect. Test. I have another camera on me, so I just want to make sure that I actually have audio going on. You know what's the worst? When you think you're recording something and then it's actually not. Okay, so Supergirl was born as Kara Zor-El on the dying planet Krypton, and her parents Zor-El and Allura sent her in a rocket to Earth to protect her younger cousin Kal. But the rocket traveled more slowly, and she arrived on Earth decades after Superman has landed. Oh, hi, Light Drop. Thanks for the follow. We're doing a little superhero synastry between Supergirl and Batgirl, and I'm Oracle going through that because she's the information, hub, the intel for all the superheroes in the DC universe for that. So, let's see here. Let's get to the good stuff. Supergirl's birthday is September 22nd, but then I found this really fun breakdown of all of her first publishing dates. So she was first published in 1959, and it's in Crisis on Infinite Earths. She was gone in 1985. So it's kind of interesting. Both Supergirl and Batgirl have some tragic stories that end up happening, which is kind of why. So we're going to put down September 22nd and 1959. So that's interesting too, because we're going to suspend disbelief in the sense that Kara wasn't born on Earth. She instead arrived on Earth. So I'm just going to read this part here because it's kind of interesting, where the date of Supergirl's arrival and Linda, so sometimes she's known as Linda, sometimes she's known as Kara. I like her mother's name, Allura. It's very pretty. The date of Supergirl's arrival on Earth and Linda's birthday was established as May 18th in Action Comics. So that was, okay, so 1938 series. Okay. But there's so many different dates and times. So it was given as April 11th in the Superman family. And then, according to Supergirl, Supergirl arrived at 12:17 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So I'm going to use that as a time because you need your time of date to kind of figure out some things too. So, and we have here, according to the 1976 Super DC calendar, Kara Zor-El's birthday was on September 22nd. Okay, so we now have the dates. I'm going to have... Okay. Her romantic interests included Dick Wilson Malvern. Who's that? Does anyone know who that is? I'm going to just look that up quickly. Who is Dick Malvern? Longtime love interest of Supergirl. Okay, he's a redhead. I am not familiar. Is it? Is it? Okay, let's see here. Richard Dick Malvern is a longtime love interest of Supergirl born Richard Wilson. He was an orphan raised in the Midvale orphanage. Okay. He's... Alright, so Dick Wilson. Interesting. Alright. Who else are you? Brainiac 5, apparently, Kara has been involved with. Alright. North of 60. Sure, I would love to hear a medium funny dad joke. This is clearly Starfire. Oh, yes. Well, I mean, I love Starfire, too. Starfire would also be, you know why Snoop Dogg carries an umbrella? For drizzle. Oh, funny. I love that. For drizzle. You got to say it with the extra, like, Snoop Dogg swagger. Okay, so we have the dates. Barbara Gordon, Batgirl, September 23rd, 1967. Supergirl, September 20th. So we're going to do a Synastry chart reading. If you want to catch the actual screen share, it's on my link tree. But otherwise, I will just talk it out through for you guys. And then I'm going to do a quick change into Batgirl from Oracle here. And then I'll come see you guys again. I have a comic book read, but what I'm going to actually do later is play some Gotham Knights as Batgirl, because that would be kind of fun. There's a little bit of some meta stuff. We'll see if I can make it work. So first we have Batgirl, and so she's going to be 23rd. So both Batgirl and Supergirl's birthdays have just passed. So Supergirl is a Virgo, a late degree Virgo, and Batgirl is a first degree Libra. So there's some elements and concepts of justice there. This idea of, standing for whatever you believe in, for truth and what's right, no matter what. Let's see here, September, and then I said, and I'm doing the dates based on like when they first, I'm just going to make this midnight for you, Batgirl. And Gotham City, is there a Gotham in real life? Gotham. Oh, there's a Gotham in UK. There's also a Gotham in Ontario. I'm going to do that one. And then partner B, Kara. We have you as the 22nd and also September. So she is a Virgo, and we'll have her as, what is this? 1959. So I have this as like the publishing date. So whenever these characters first came to life, when they first came into publishing, because everything has an astrology, right, as a marker in time. You think of like movies when they were released, or books when they first came into life, or even like if you think about personal markers for you, like when you first watched a movie, or when you, like what age you were when certain things happened in your life, they have particular types of significance for you. And we said, based on our research, our superhero research, Kara Zor-El touched down on Earth at 12:17 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and that's according to some of our fun wiki research online. And so where did she I'm going to put Kansas City, Oklahoma. do that. Touching down. I think there's a couple renditions of where Kara touched down, one of them being in Russia. But I'm going to put this as Kansas because, like, that's where Superman kind of was, like, Smallville, Kansas. So we're going to do Gotham, Kansas. All right, let's run the chart. Dun, 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 dun. This is more for, like, a learning experience for you and your friends. It's like why when you first meet certain people, you connect with them right away. And sometimes they can talk for hours about, like, whatever. And then others, you're just like, you know what? Not kind of a thing. So let's see here. So if you go and, like, you check out your different, your different astro charts and you, like, map them across each other, what you will find is that you're going to have different aspects and angles that interplay with each other specifically, right? So in this case, the ascendant, let me see here. I'm going to first look at all of their placements. So, ooh, Barbara, that's awesome. So her moon is in Taurus. So Barbara Gordon, we have her sun is in, well, that's interesting how they have Supergirl as being, did I put that in wrong? 22nd. No, that's right. I just wanted to double check. Okay. So when you're looking at these charts, they kind of make them look like they're love relationships, but they're more than love relationships. We have September 23rd. This one places it as being still a Virgo. I have it as being a Libra, but hey, let's go with it. They're still in that cuspy degree of between charts and stuff, right? So what we have here in terms of connections between the two is that they both have waning moons. So when you look at your own chart, your moon, there's of course the sign that it's in, but you also want to look at the phase of moon that it's in. So I have this moon, this is a crescent moon. I was born under a waxing crescent moon, so that comes with it its own energies around it. So my moon's actually in Gemini. It's probably why I have a lot of Gemini friends. But in terms of the moon here, for Batgirl, we have a moon in Taurus, and for Supergirl, we have a moon in Libra. Now, I'm going to keep this as, let me look at the sun here. They're both, if you were to look at the chart on my screen share, where it began, I can't begin to know when. I'm doing this also live on, I'm doing basically the synastry of friendship. So if you have friends or loving relationships with others and you want to look at your chart and another person's chart, you would kind of look at different aspects. Like you would look at like your sun and their moon and see how those kind of connect with each other. And if there is like synastry between the two, that's the word we would use in terms of astro for that. And you would have one chart and you have another chart and you overlay them upon each other, and then you kind of see where these connections form between the two, right? So between these two ladies, Supergirl and Batgirl, we have, I kind of find it crazy that I swear, I know why. You know what? I'm going to run this chart again. I'm going to basically do Gotham. And this is why I feel like time is just a construct. So this, we're going to have Kansas. Yes. And then, because I didn't know what Batgirl's birth time was, I'm going to make hers a little bit later in the evening, kind of like a, sunset or 10 p.m. So let's calculate that. Oh no, chili. Oh, ooh, we're going to cook chili. I hope it's good where you guys are right now. Oh, thank you for the perfume. Okay, so where are we here? That makes a little bit more sense. That's what I wanted to have, because I do believe that Batgirl is a first degree Libra and Supergirl is a late degree 29th Omega degree Virgo. And so that friendship between the two of them, they would get along with each other on that level. Thanks, thank you very much. This is like my oracle, like intel, looking into things in my little computer hub. Like when I do editing and stuff, this is like what I'm in. I'm gonna do a quick change after this and get into my Batgirl gear. We're gonna hopefully do some gaming, Gotham Knights style. We'll see. But I wanted to do a Synastry. If you wanted to see this in terms of the screen share, you can check that out on my link tree. I have this on YouTube as well. So if you see the chart here, I'm just going to call it out for you guys. Batgirl has the sun in Libra, me, because I'm not playing as Oracle right now, which is like Batgirl is my alter ego. The sun is in Libra, moon is in Taurus, Mercury is in Libra. We have Venus in Leo, that's cool. Mars is in Sagittarius, Jupiter is in Leo, Saturn is in Aries, Uranus is in Virgo, Neptune is in Scorpio, that's intense too, and Pluto is in Virgo. Okay, so that is Batgirl, Barbara Gordon's chart. And then in terms of Supergirl, Supergirl is got her sun in Virgo, her moon is in Gemini. So both me and Supergirl have that in common. Well, Rachel does. Thanks, Stu. Thank you. So your moon sign represents your inner child, your inner mother, your subconscious self. So it's nice to look at that placement for yourself just to see how you react to things on an emotional level. So as an example, I have my moon in Gemini, just like Supergirl here does, and that can just come with it. Your emotional state can be moody, can be ever changing in that kind of regard. Mercury is in Libra, so if we think about Supergirl and Batgirl here, there's some commonalities. So Mercury and Venus, Mercury representing communication, thoughts, memory, all that kind of stuff, and Venus, which represents your love, how you love, relationships, all that juicy stuff. Those are in the same signs for these two ladies. So both Supergirl and Batgirl have Venus in Leo. And I think about like Leo placements if you have them. So even though your sun is in one sign, if your Venus is in a particular sign, that's going to give some insight as to how you love, how your heart reacts to things, how you are most comfortable in giving love and receiving love. And so in this case, having in Leo means that it needs to be these big activities. And if you think about the activities of even being a superhero and being a vigilante, going out onto the streets and helping people like that, that's a very like Venus and Leo. You're showing love through action, right? Through your very overt way of demonstrating that type of your relationships, right? So even if we think about Leo and relationships that you end up having, you're probably going to have relationships that come from work, right? So you met someone on the set. That's sweet. Kaonashi. I love Mary Jane. You know, your girl next door. Because every superhero needs like a friend who, like no matter what, I'm there for you. And I can help check some intel for you, hack the back doors, make sure that you have to, like, when the security is on break, that kind of situation. Every superhero needs like some extra intel. So I'm doing just a reading between Supergirl and Batgirl. If you want to see the screen share, it's on my YouTube channel, which you can find in the link tree, which is in my link tree. Hey Austin, hey Lolita. We are going to go into a quick I'm going to do a chart. Actually, once I jump off of this, I'm going to maybe I'll do a quick card reading, because I am Oracle right now, so kind of makes sense I should do an Oracle reading before I wrap up. But I'll log off of this first. Is there anything else I want to talk about here in terms of the Synastry reading? I started maybe not too long ago. This is like part 1 of my live streams tonight. So quick introduction, my superhero friends. I'm officially Barbara Gordon, Batgirl as Oracle, or Mary Jane Watson. I'm going to put it as like your helpful superhero girl next door, friend who's there to give you intel. And we're going through the birth charts of Supergirl and Batgirl to get some insight, because, you know, when you think about synastry reading, so for example, you and your partner, or you or your friend and your friends, or anyone you have any relationship with, like my mom, for example. So I'm a Taurus, my mom is a Scorpio. That opposes each other in the chart, right? So we're alike in a lot of ways, but can also fight in a lot of ways, because we are alike in kind of the ways. Hey Lolita, hey Joyce, nice to see you. Hey, hi Mr. Top Ramen. So I was just looking at a synastry between these two ladies, because Supergirl's birthday was just this past Sunday. She is a late degree Virgo baby, and Batgirl, Barbara Gordon, is a 1 degree Libra baby. But I've just found out now that Barbara Gordon's moon is in Taurus. So if I were to run that chart, like if you have a moon sign that is someone else's sun sign, you're going to find that there's going to be this initial like chemical reaction between the two of you, and you won't know why. It's been really interesting whenever I've done synastry readings with people, how right the astrology is, where like certain things connect in a lot of ways. So for example, my moon is in Gemini, so I do find that I have a lot of Gemini friends. Lolita, of course you're a Libra. Yes, justice and truth. And so Libra is ruled by Venus, and so that is all things love, art, and beauty, that kind of stuff. I think I'm more speaking astrology. I'm looking at it from character archetypes, right? So when you think of characters that you are created, there was a first appearance of Batgirl. There was a first appearance of Supergirl. So what year was it when that energy came into life, when it came into form? And so even if you think about you, when you took your first breath into this existence, the sky had a map, had a particular way of it looking that like you were also imprinted with. So that's kind of like to say that you have something very unique. You have a very unique character role to play in this life, and that's something that should be celebrated and looked at. And then when you look at yourself in conjunction with others, then you can get a lot of insight as to like how others communicate. So for example, this is what I'll leave it with, I think, my YouTube little expose on Supergirl and Batgirl, that they both have this connection here between Mercury and Venus. So Mercury is like the planet that you hear about Mercury retrograde, right? And in the sky. Yeah, I love Kara too. So Kara, I actually was looking into her as a Power Girl as too, right? So because Power Girl is also Supergirl and is also Kara Zor-El, but a different version. And so it's kind of interesting, like all of these different iterations and different characters have, it's just like you, if you think about all the different planetary alignments in your own birth chart, right? So like for me, like especially if you have Gemini placements, or even if you're like air signs like Libra, Lolita, where in your mental state you're able to kind of have almost like these thought experiments and use your imagination to go into these realms. And I can almost feel like on some level that you've already lived that. So yeah, just something to kind of think about in terms of like leaning into your fellow friends who are like earthy and more grounded, so that you get more of a balance of like, of course, nothing comes into form without first thinking about it, right? Everything was first a dream, first something imagined, but it takes work and time and synthesis and honing in order for that dream or whatever idea it is, no matter how wonderful it is, for it to come into life, into fruition. And there's also this level of what it takes to get others in on that dream, right? Because even Supergirl or any of these characters that are so beloved to us, they do have birthdays associated with them. So their characters give them birthdays, and as a result, you can look at those birthdays and look at their astro and be like, oh, that gives some more insight into their characters for us. So like it's, as you were saying, like a different a language and a way of encoding it. Because I think, and this is just my my personal opinion, you don't have to take it, right? I think because time isn't linear, right? That your future self, your future best, highest, wonderful self, is waiting for you to become him or her, right? And so, in order to do so, has left clues along the way in stories, in poems, in songs, in movies, so that at the right time, at the right place, with the right people, you will come to know these stories. And in you, specifically, something will click. Like, for whatever reason, maybe knowing the fact that Batgirl is a first degree Libra, just like you, Lolita, means something, right? Uh, you know what? Even if you have no clue, Keona, I think it resonates on a deeper level. It's like no different than poetry, right? Or when I used to study Shakespeare in university, right? Like on some level, sometimes you're just like, I don't really understand what these soliloquies mean. But on your personal cellular level, you as part of a member of the human family, you do understand it, you understand it, you overstand it, you resonate with it. So these are all different ways you can come to gnosis without this very like logical right brain way of being like, okay, well, like actually like left brain way of doing things, right? If you think of like left-handed people versus right-handed people. So I'm going to end off my screen share here where I was basically doing a little synastry between friendship, because I do think that it should be talked about that Kara and Barbara are actually friends, and there's a level of learning from each other, and this concept of the human genius in the Bat family, and the characters in the comic books that don't have superpowers. That includes Mary Jane Watson and Lois Lane and the girlfriends, right? But they are extremely important in the whole storyline, right? Because what's a hero without someone to fight for, without someone that they love to fight for, right? And at the end of the day, that's why any of us heroes do anything, right? Is to protect those that we love. And if you look at the charts of both Supergirl and Batgirl, it's very apparent that a lot of their character motivations come from that deep level of service to a greater cause, and to do it at a level of like almost sacrificing your own personal relationships for the relationship, which is the relationship to the greater cosmos and all itself. And some of you are called to that, right? It's not for everyone. Nicole says hi. Oh my gosh, I love it. Oh my gosh. So I'm a personal trainer, you guys, too, right? So I always say, like, I personal train superheroes. Because, as I said, you can have all of the talent in the world, right? You can be the best drawer in the world, but if you don't practice, you won't hone it. It's like a sword, right? Where you pull it out of the fire, and it's made of the most magical, ingredients, right? It's like most magical metals, right? But it still needs to be honed. It needs to be worked on, and the blade needs to be like sharpened to such a degree, and the hilt needs to be like formed nicely for like whoever is going to be wielding it. So all of these things take care and time and work that are like not as fun, I get it, as like the initial idea of things. And this is why, like, my husband being a Libra and me being a Taurus, we work really well together, because there's that concept of like, oh, the idea, but like I'm being a project manager, like, okay, well, practically though, like, how can we actually make that work in the now and the here? And that's where that interplay too of even Virgo and Libra works really well. Like an earth sign and an air sign can really work well together in that synthesis where you have idea generation, but then also this like my girlfriend Aria, who was on the show last night, she's a Gemini, right? And so this air situation of like, what is time? Where am I? This is where like time happens whenever I appear, and I'm like, I totally get that. But there's also, oh yes, true friends are a true blessing, and this is why I love anime so much, right? That anime does a great job of celebrating deep friendship, and I'm all for love and deep sexual relationships and love relationships or romantic relationships. I'm all for that. But there's also something really pure and wonderful about those deep friends that you've had for forever. I've had friends that I've had since I was like kindergarten, like first days of kindergarten that I've kept. I guess it's because that's a tourist thing. We keep those friends, but there's something really special about having those friends that even though you don't talk to all the time, that there's a reminder of like who you were at the time when you were like that close to, right? So, and also the different quests we go on in life that bring you new friends in your life that are forged in those different times. So I'm going to wrap up the stream here on YouTube. If you want to catch that, which actually has the what do you want to call it? The actual the wheel, the Astro wheel. You can get that on YouTube, and that is in my link tree. And so I'm going to